Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kanyisa Jividho here. So today guys, just like I promised in my previous videos that this channel is about inspiration. So I'm having a guest here today with us. The one who's gonna be inspiring us in so many ways, like if you wanna start up a business, and he's also a student. So here with me, I'm having Prince Dube. They're gonna be introducing himself to you guys.
Hi, my name is Prince Dube, and I was born in Boksburg. Currently, I'm a student at the University of Johannesburg studying electrical and electronic engineering, and I'm also an entrepreneur.
So, from Prince, since you're an entrepreneur, so what I'd like to know about the little bit of how you started it as an entrepreneur, because you said you once told Simashi that you started it in high school. So I want to know, take us back there when you were starting it.
So basically what happened is I took part in a research project where the main aim of it was to actually look for ways in which we can help save the environment. Then I stumbled upon biofuels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Biofuels, like you're making fuels out of potatoes and mealy or something like that. I don't know.
No, on the contrary, no,
Yeah.
not those kinds.
Okay.
So biofuels is, or it is what you've just mentioned, but then there is also another another aspect of it, and that aspect is the diesel part, which is what I was making. Yeah, instead of using potatoes and whatnot, I was using vegetable oils.
Vegetable oil. Like
yes.
you were starting from vegetable oil, just like an oil that is already being processed as a vegetable oil. That was when you started.
Yeah. So I couldn't afford to, press the vegetables and the oils.
Okay.
So I basically just I used vegetable oil, used cooking oil at that point in time. Okay. And then it underwent, a few chemical processes, and then biodiesel was the end product.
Okay, so when you started this, like they give you a certain topic that you have to do this, or you were just like, you're so much creativity for you to start like, okay, let me just come up with this kind of project, the one who's going to be successful or what?
So with the project, it was an open canvas. We just had to do research on anything from solar to biofuels to geothermal energy, all like clean ways or all green ways in which we can produce energy. So I decided to go the biofuel route, and surprisingly I actually found out that it was not very difficult to create biodiesel, because I was thinking, I was thinking, oh, you need all these big fancy equipment. Yeah. And when I started doing my research, I found out that anyone with a decent knowledge in chemistry is actually able to manufacture biodiesel.
Oh, so you were that good to be creative to start a biofuel. So anyway, like, okay, what from there, like, so you did it as a project, right?
Yes.
And then you took it from a project to something that you thought of making money from it. So like, it wasn't that difficult for you, like, to do it for like taking out from the project side and then thinking, okay, let me just take it to the industry way for me to start making money. Or
yeah. So what happened is, after I saw how easy it is, there was actually a testing process. So what I did is like I created my first liter, so to say, of biofuel. I followed all the instructions. I got manuals online and whatnot. I read into the chemistry. So after I created my first liter, I poured it into a diesel generator. It was an old diesel generator. So
you first tested before you even take it to outside.
Yeah. So
I was so afraid, like, oh no, what if you take it this I will put it in someone's car and then someone's engine got damaged. Okay, so you first tested with an engine.
Yeah, I put it
with a generator.
Yeah, I put it into a generator, and the generator, to my surprise, actually ran. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then I created, I think, another 5 liters after that. And then I did the same thing again with the generator, and the generator like ran, and I was like, oh, okay.
So you said that you for the it's a biofuel, right? So it wasn't costly for you to create the biofuel using those vegetable oils. It wasn't costly for you. It wasn't costing you much to create that fuel.
Well, to first create it, it didn't cost me much because I also used the equipment in the school lab.
Oh, okay.
So I talked to my science teacher and he gave me like the methanol that I would need. He gave me some beakers, you know, some pipettes, you know, all the measuring equipment. I bought a scale. That's the only thing that I can say I really felt a pinch on at that point. Yeah. So I bought a scale because I needed a scale to measure the amounts of all the chemicals that I had to add. So after that, the other cost was actually getting the used cooking oil.
Oh, okay.
However, I got like my first 20 liters free because I went to a local restaurant and they were like, oh, okay, this is what you want. No, we've got we've got some used cooking oil there, and it was like a big 20-liter container. So then I just took all of it.
Oh wow. Okay. So from there, then you started. Okay, let me just make it as a business, like.
Yeah.
Opportunity for you to start up with business.
So after I saw it that okay, it's actually a product and it works, I then decided, you know what, I can actually make some pocket money. Because there's always, there's those guys who have bakkies, and their bakkies are like for hire and whatnot. They are always looking for ways in which to cut costs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I created, I think, 5 liters, and then I sold it at like close to half of what the diesel price was back then.
And they even believed you, like such a young boy, like they want to sell at business, and then they believe you, they bought it.
Well, I didn't tell them it was biodiesel at first, but
okay.
Yeah, I was like, no, this is diesel, and you can see it's running in this generator. I made it myself. You can try it, and then just give me a half price. I think it was 5 rand something at that point in time. No, yeah, that I charged. The price was around 10 rand.
Oh. So you were doing in the beginning, you were doing it for the pocket money.
Yeah.
Pocket money.
So what happened is there was a natural progression because they would buy it, use it, and then they'd come back, be like, oh, don't you have any more of that diesel? Then I'll be like, no, I don't have. Then like, okay, but call me when you've got. So I had about 4 or 5 customers initially when I started.
Oh, okay. So like you had a constant customer that your regular social this kind of people.
Yeah.
So okay, tell me. So when you see like people are buying your biofuels, like what came into your mind? Like what is it that you wanted to do with that biofuel? Like you were just doing for the temporary part, the real season for you because you're in high school, you want to pocket money to buy at least some quotas and fake cooks. So you just like told yourself, okay, let me just try to make it to make it a business out of it, like something to build up a legacy for myself, or you just
So at the beginning it was just for a little extra money here and there, but it then progressed quite quickly, in fact, to something that actually generated quite a lot of money, more money than I needed at that point in time. So I was like, oh no, let me make this a formal business. So I started growing, from making 5-10 liters. I was now making around 50 liters every 2 days or every day, you see. And then from then on, my dreams were to become like a Sasso. Like, oh no, I can actually rapidly grow this.
You can grow it to become someone who has a company has an inches all over South Africa.
Exactly. And then I actually started doing that. By that time, then I was like out of school. It was post-matric. Then when I wanted to do that, that's when I then started running into roadblocks, regulation. And at that point in time, the SA government had also not really finalized where it stood on biofuels and all of that. So as I tried to scale up, I only scaled up to a certain point. And then beyond that point, it was now unprofitable for me to continue, because then I'd have to get licenses like manufacturing license, a wholesale license, a commercial license, a petroleum license. You see?
And when you started it was like, it was started as a project, like, so
Yeah,
when you heard about all this kind of thing, like, oh, I'm gonna get arrested, let me just leave it, or just like, okay, I'm gonna be enrolling into some other business or something like that.
I wasn't afraid of being arrested per se, but once you want to grow rapidly and be a formal business, have a business that is larger than yourself, you then need to make sure that all your bases are covered.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because at the end, you need to protect yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because a company can come back and say, well, this person is not registered. They're not in the Petroleum Association or whatnot. So you need to make sure that all your compliance documents are in order. And as I was doing that, I was still operating, but it became apparent very quickly that this would need way more capital than I actually had at that time.
Okay, so one more question, Prince, like, can you recommend to someone who is still in high school, just like ourselves, we started in high school, right? So can you recommend to someone in high school, like, if they got passion in what they're doing in class, like can they even take it outside the class as well, like if they see passion in it? Because like most of the students, like they can't see things while they're still learning it in the books, but the moment they saw doing it practically is when like, oh, this thing, I want to be a scientist, I want to be an engineer, just because they saw some certain project that they were doing. So some, they even see they have passion in those kind of things. So can you recommend to the student, like if they feel like they want to pursue it outside the class, they can do it or what?
So I think that's one thing that we as the youth need to sort of like work on, because the way I've been actually ever since is I would learn something, right? But then instead of learning a certain chemical formula, I'm like, no, I can actually make this and sell it.
Oh.
You see, right now I'm studying electrical engineering. I've actually created from what I've learned, I've created products that I've sold to other people, and other companies as it is. So we just need to find a way to break it down. Our school system doesn't really help in terms of helping you to sort of like commercialize anything or be entrepreneurial. But they offer you that plate of knowledge.
Oh, they offer you knowledge
yeah,
for you to apply.
Yeah, you need to sort of like take it, break it down, and and apply it. So if you're studying accounting, hey, why not be a bookkeeper too? There's plenty of small businesses, there's plenty of informal traders, spaza shops.
Oh.
You see?
Okay.
I actually, when I was in grade 10, right? With grade 10 accounting, I offered to do the books for a certain spaza shop that was in my area. Well, it wasn't a spaza shop, it was more like an informal trader.
Oh.
And that was a way of me actually applying those grade 10 accounting skills, of which it was basic bookkeeping, keeping track of all the receipts, the profits, and all the costs, you see. There you go. And yet someone is like, I'm doing accounting, but I don't know, I don't know how to explain or how to do it in real life. At its most basic form, it's just recording things in your cash journal, payments and whatnot. And by doing that, you also grow. You start by doing bookkeeping. You might even start doing it for free, but then you gain experience. And once you have experience, you can actually sort of like just, help the informal sector. Be like, okay, give me $50 a month. I'll make sure that I do your accounting.
Oh, so in other words, like you're trying to tell us like, the knowledge that we get in high school, it wasn't about for us to be passing and then get a matric certificate so we can go to varsity.
Exactly.
So everything, like basically everything that the basics that they give us in high school is what we apply each and every day. Like someone who's like enrolling in business, they do still apply those kind of knowledge they learn even in high school in order for them to push them in what they're doing.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. Because we tend to just have we get this knowledge. For example, if we look at engineering, right? It's like we're taught, oh, okay, this is how you put an engine together, and then you're taught, oh, these are the fuel ratios that you must use, or this is how you program the car computer system and whatnot. So it will then be up to you to be like, okay, with all this, I can actually put them together and maybe I can create a car.
No.
And you have to think of it, you always start with the basics, the simplest things. If it's creating a car, what do you need? Well, you need wheels, right?
Yeah.
You need an engine,
Yeah.
you need a steering and a body. Everything else, it builds on that. You know, you'd be like, oh, okay, how do I put an engine together? Okay, maybe I've put this together. All right, now I need to control it. Then you see, that's when the complexity comes in. But just you need to be able to simplify everything to its constituent parts and then just start from there. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay, so thank you so much, Prince, for like telling us about like how you started in this thing. Because like, so I believe like there are so many people out there like they want to also enroll into businesses like from the way they got in high school, but they don't even know how they started because they don't even have money. But right now, like I've learned so much, so that you can even do it, even though you know that it's because there are some of the things that it's not even the basics are not costing. Is what you're trying to explain to us, and the basics are not costing. If you know the basics, the other thing is gonna come up on top of that. So guys, so today this is what we had with Prince. This is the next video, because like we're gonna be having another video where Prince as well gonna be telling us how he enrolled from what you biofuels into other businesses, because like Prince is not someone who has only one business, but you can hear it from the other channels. So guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and carry on watching to this channel. So I'll see you in the next video.